I'm Dan Ridsdale and welcome to Edison TV. Today I'm joined by Subhash Challa. Subhash is Chief Executive Officer of Sensen.ai, a pioneer in the field of sensor artificial intelligence. So the company's platform, SenDISA, takes data from SenSen Networks and cameras and turns those into meaningful insights. And those are applied into fields such as retail, traffic monitoring, smart cities, and casinos. Subhash, many thanks for joining us. To start with, could you please share with us SenSen's value proposition and really talk about the role you play specifically within the overall artificial intelligence domain?
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for the interview. And AI is a seriously, emerging field right now with lots and lots of excitement about the advances made, right from the chips that process them to the machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms, and how it could be applied to solve previously impossible or unsolvable problems. And SenSen is really on the pointy end of the AI, where we are picking the problems that customers are facing in their everyday lives and taking the tools of AI that has been coming about to solve the problems for them. So we are in the solution space, riding on top of the AI advances that are happening. We are contributing ourselves into novel algorithms and better ways to use the tools and technologies that are coming about and solving the problems. The uniqueness that SenSen brings into this space, because AI can be applied to language processing, to anything that you can think of, really. We are focusing on sensors and cameras and problems of customers that involve 3D space monitoring in real time. And that requires some really specialist skills on how to pick the right kind of cameras and sensors to the right algorithms, right processing platforms, right architecture, whether it's edge or cloud. But the real focus for us is how do we add value to the end customers by reducing their cost or increasing the revenue that they are creating, and adding value to the customers that they serve. We are largely in the B2B space, where we are serving businesses that are trying to serve end customers. And the areas that we are currently focused are on smart cities, where city councils are serving their citizens and we are improving their operations. Casinos, where they are trying to serve patrons for entertainment, and we are improving the way they do it and in a legal and proper manner. And we're also in retail, where we are trying to solve some of the biggest problems that the retailers are facing globally.
Great, and diving into that in a little bit more detail, your platform applies artificial intelligence to sensors and camera data. Can you discuss how that works and talk about the core IP upon which the platform is built?
Yeah, I mean, for most people, camera is entertainment, or camera means a big brother or a CCTV. These are the visions and pictures people get. But if you think deeply and understand and reflect a bit, camera is actually like a sensor. You can detect objects or count them or track them. Basically, it's like any other sensor that is out there, right? And SenSen has been specializing in taking a video stream and converting it into like a real sensor that people can use to automate operations or other things. But not only that, SenSen's core capability is to fuse data from multiple sensors. It could be multiple cameras or other type of sensors like GPS or LiDAR or a radar or temperature sensors or inertial sensors and so on and so forth, right? So in order to fuse the data like that from different sources in some kind of a scalable manner, we focused on developing a platform. We call that SenDISA platform, which is our SenSens distributed intelligent sensor analytics platform. And the primary function that it does is to inject data from these disparate sensing sources and transform them by processing computer vision or sensor signal processing and other kind of stuff, fusing the data and making it available to enterprise applications. So people on the business end of the equation can consume that. And that is the core value proposition of the platform. And why we are calling it a platform and what is the speciality of being a platform is that it's not like a point one-off solution. We have done it in such a way that you can take any business application in any vertical. Today we are in 3 verticals and expanding into others as we go, but it's the same basic platform that goes everywhere. Okay.
Thank you, Subhash. And you talked about the ability of the platform to address different application, and you've seen an acceleration in deal flow with a number of deals signed across a number of different applications over the last few months. Can you discuss what's driving that and also how they're spread across the different verticals in which you operate?
Yeah, I would, we were really pleased and excited about, months leading into our Christmas, where we probably closed 5 or 6 cities. I'm losing track myself, and 2 casinos, one in UK and one in Australia. And there are 50 odd, retail stores that we have been able to close. And if you look at the breadth of applications, it clearly outlines how our platform is able to, give that strength to address all these different disparate solutions, right? So in the city space, really, we are focused on providing, tools to the cities to make roads safer, okay, or congestion free, and making parking available easily. And it comes in the combination of both monitoring applications to get the data from the on-street and on-road environments, but also give enforcement tools if people are breaking the law. Okay, and cities have to provide the facilities and the things, but also have to have a stick. Otherwise, it just becomes chaotic. And we play a role in both those places, right? And when we move adjacent into casinos, and we're really excited about this one, where we got our first UK customer, which is Hippodrome Casino. And again, if you look at it, casinos have 2-part business. One is a electronic gaming machines, and other is table games with a lot of interaction between dealers and players. And our product really fills the gap for casinos, where we're getting slot machine or electronic gaming machine type data from table games. It's very hard to do it because people put chips and they interact a lot, and you got to monitor that. So our technology has been able to generate data that then feeds into a bunch of applications, whether it is doing better loyalty points and ratings, or anti-money laundering initiatives, or a better way to manage casinos overall in a responsible gambling manner, right? So that's where we play there. And when we move adjacent to retail stores, theft and loss through theft is the biggest problem. Okay, the only response people had prior to solutions like us was put a CCTV camera, and if somebody steals, you can replay the video and check it out. Okay, we actually intercept crime more or less before it happens or while it is happening. It sounds unreal, but if you really dig deeper into a solution, it actually outlines how we do it, and that is the reason behind our success in retail now, where there is a process behind how we intercept the crime and how we can actually get the funds stolen or the goods stolen back to the retailer. There's a whole chain of processing, and AI plays a critical role in it.
Interesting, thank you. And outside of those key verticals, and you're well established in those verticals, are there any other new verticals, new applications that you're targeting going forward?
So I think our first and primary focus is to first dominate the verticals that we are in. We took a long time to get to where we are, but we are in the prime position. We are recognized leader in them. So it's our opportunity to make as much progress in these things, both financially and also footprint wise and so on, right? So that's the first focus. But your question of adjacent verticals is very important, because the whole reason the platform has been developed was our ability to move into adjacent verticals, relatively easily, right? And one of the, there are multiple candidates for these adjacent verticals, and normally what we do is we first try to apply on bespoke but large opportunities that we might run into by our by design or by accident. Sometimes it happens in multiple ways. So some of the ones that we're looking at is asset audits. We already have early traction in some asset audits in the city space, but we are also moving adjacent to asset audits into utilities and other kind of things. So there are a lot of people driving drones to collect data about assets, but comparing before and after images and trying to create automated tools around that to do an audit is a difficult problem. So starting to engage with some clients through partners to explore opportunity in that space.
Very helpful. Understood. And can you talk a little bit about your business model and also how once you've won an account, you sort of follow a land and expand strategy, as I understand. Can you discuss that, and when you win a new customer, what that actually means in terms of the value to SenSen over its life cycle?
Yeah, it's a very important point. And if you look at all the accounts that we have, one important metric is what is your churn, okay? And our churn is 0 so far. We never lost a customer in our history so far. Presumably early days, but still, we've been operating for 5-7 years now in a very serious manner, in a commercially significant manner. And we never really lost a customer. Not only that, if you look at our net retention rate, it's like 120%. It's not below 100%. So what it tells you financial metrics wise is that the existing customers are buying more stuff from you, okay? Not only retaining them, but are actually expanding, right? And, it's a well-known theory and well-known in practice that, upselling into an existing customers who are happy is much easier than acquiring new customers. So, and because of the platform strategy we have and multiple modules that we have already developed and many thousands of AI models that we have already developed, it allows us to acquire a customer from one pain point that they have, but because of the trust we then generate, we are able to expand our offerings into other areas that are there, right? Now that's a core strategy for us. So if you in cities, for example, we might pick them up in a road safety side and then sell parking later, or parking and then road safety later, and then surveillance later, or an asset audits later. So because of the breadth of solutions that we have, even just within one vertical, and in one customer, we have multiple things to offer, and that's a land and expand strategy that we have. And same goes with casinos and retail and airports or any other vertical that you think of.
Fascinating. It looks like a huge addressable market. And then just to conclude, in terms of SenSen's investment case, can you talk about that and really explain why you believe SenSen is attractive to investors?
The first and foremost thing is that there is a big valuation gap between the real success SenSen has achieved, on the market with comparables who are getting some ridiculously high valuations to where we are. Whether they are overvalued or we are undervalued, we'll leave it to the investors, but the gap is obvious. We are undervalued at this point in time, and but the foundation, we never got distracted with it. We always focused on build the foundations, make sure we are revenue generating, we're solving real problems for real customers, and we always believe the valuation will correct itself down the line. And I believe that opportunity exists for investors to look at it closely and say, look at different companies in the AI space and see what is the valuation gap and what are the real achievements on the ground that people have achieved. So I believe that is the first and foremost thing, that there is a no-brainer to get involved in SenSen right now, because we are a very attractive investment compared to a lot of comparables that are out there, right? And the second point I would like to mention to all the investors who are considering SenSen would be, it is a great company to be involved in, to look at how we are transforming people's lives. Our vision is to positively transform people's lives with AI. AI is not a bad thing. AI could be a good thing, but and we have mastered the art of how to take that AI to deliver real efficiencies to that impact citizens and customers and so on and so forth. So it's a grand vision that is driving it. It's not small, and we want to be up there with all the major players who will be there in that space, right? That's the ambition. And finally, from a personal perspective, and a lot of our leaders, executives, we all want to see SenSen list on NASDAQ. That's our mission, if you want, in the next few years. And we want to do all the things that are possible to do that. So we are currently in the US. We broke through US in the last couple of years, right through COVID. We are serving city of Las Vegas and city of Chicago. We are in Canada. So we have done all the foundational work to kind of get there and win against the competition and get the attention of the right people. Now it's an execution time. We just recently raised some money, which is giving us all the foundation to market and sell more and bring more sales and marketing talent onto the business. So I believe that we are if you look at the holistic opportunities SenSen offers with the ambition that we have set ourselves, I think it's a great opportunity to get involved in SenSen.
Subhash, thanks very much for your time, and we look forward to following your progress going forward.
Thanks a lot, Dan, for the opportunity to speak to your investors.